Well, you may think at times that 189 is a big enough target, but Michael and Joy both called it in the mid-game. Par for the course. Well, it turned out to be even easier than par for Delhi, who got there with 7 wickets and 8 balls in hand. So it was quite a little gentle trot towards the end, getting to those 2 points and, of course, getting off to a flyer here in the 2021 edition. Not a good day for Chennai at the end of it. You're watching Cricbuzz live in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. I'm Gaurav Kapoor. With me, Michael Vaughan and Joy Bhattacharya. Well, Michael, you called it in the end. Not a problem at all for Delhi. And why would it be after that opening partnership?
Yeah, I mean, that's I call that putting a marker down at the start of a tournament. Last year's finalists. We saw the improvement last year in Delhi. Well, to start this year's campaign with such a dominant performance with the bat. I mean, I always felt that the pitch was a really good one, but you've still got to go out and play nicely on it. And that opening partnership, I think Shikhar Dhawan, we know he's been in form. We know Prithvi Shaw's been in form in the domestic game. But to then do it under the spotlight of the IPL and then the manner and some of those strokes. I mean, I've just tweeted it. Indian cricket, you don't realise how not fortunate, because that's the wrong word, because you've worked hard to get into the position of what you've found yourselves in. The depths of talent in Indian cricket is remarkable. You have got enough players. I think we could spend an hour or so picking 3 teams. Of course, the first team would be very, very strong. The second team would be strong. And I reckon your third team would be strong as well. You've got that many players and that many players to choose from in all the different facets of the game. It's a joy to watch. When you see a young player play like Prithvi Shaw did tonight, it's you just sit back and you just admire the stroke play, the skill levels and the expertise that they're showing.
But Michael, one question that I have to ask you: if we pick those 3 teams, those 3 teams play against each other in a round-robin format. You get a champion from that. They play the Mumbai Indians then for world supremacy?
No, Mumbai Indians are still the best.
There you go. It's just thought maybe. Yeah.
So you've got your Indian 1 team, your Indian 2 team, and then you've got the Indian 3rd team, and then the Mumbai team are here.
Fair enough. Joy, the one thing, of course, that Prithvi Shaw gave us was a lot of runs. He gave that to Delhi, things that he was not giving them last season. Kind of streaky, a couple of chances there as well, but that will happen when you score 72 of 38. There are going to be chances. The other team should pick them up. They didn't pick them up. That's their bad. He made the best of it. The last 8 innings in 2020 was 49 runs, and his first game today has been 72. Jeez, if you want to turn it around, you want to turn it around like that.
No, he turned it around absolutely. And remember one more thing: the chances that he gave were really started from his 40s. There's that Mitchell Santner who's basically was blindsided. He saw Bravo and he slowed down and he missed that. Both the catches were later, 40s and 50s. By that time, he'd already stamped a lot of his class in the game. And I mean, Simon Dool was on air and he spoke beautifully about it, about how his foot is moving, his back foot is moving much better. But the other thing that I loved about it was he was adjusting his bat speed so well to the ball. I mean, last year, sometimes he was guilty of going every ball hard. And here, there was this particular square drive we hit that he just waited for that ball, that extra millisecond for it to come just to the right place. I mean, he could have tried to cover drive it, might have nicked it, might have done anything. He just waited just enough to get it right. It was so beautifully done. And that's what he looked like, exactly what, we were talking about when I saw some of it. I saw a lot of the Vijay Hazare, and this was what he was looking like. A guy who's dominating the bowling, toying with the bowling. Okay, you bowled a slow ball, I'll just guide it past point. You put a fielder at deep point, I'll hit it over cover. That's exactly what he was doing today.
And Shikhar Dhawan, there was a couple of things that Shikhar Dhawan did. Michael, there was this one shot that he played. Sam Curran made quite a flying effort to try and sort of cut that off, but he was just inventive. He was powerful. He was in good flow today. I mean, the runs show you that. The strike rate show you that. He was quite a joy to watch. Picked up his form from the 2020 IPL.
Yeah, and what he's so good at is assessing the field. So he sees that they've got 2 fielders behind square on the onside. So what does he do? He walks over to outside the off stump, knowing that the ball has to be wide of off stump. And he's got the hands and the skill to just sweep it over those 2 fielders. And then what does the bowler do? The bowler then thinks, I'll stay a bit wide. And then he just opens his hand and smashes it through extra cover. Brilliant timing. He must be a joy to bat with as well, because he's always activating every ball.
Yeah.
So Prithvi Shaw, what does he need? He needs to get on strike. So what does Dhawan do? He says, all right, youngster, you're the one that's striking it. I'll just give you the single. There you go. You can have it on a plate. And when you're out, I'll take over the mantle. That's experience and high-class T20 batting, is just accepting that your partner might be just striking it at that stage. It might be his time to the matchups, as they say in this era. So you just give him the strike, and as soon as your partner goes, and in this case Prithvi Shaw went, all right, it's my time now. I'll start striking into the boundary. So high-class T20 batting.
Let's have a look at what the Chennai bowlers did. And MS needed more from them today. They tried. It wasn't for lack of effort, but it was just none of the bowlers really could dig themselves in. And just when you thought they did, the Delhi batters just came hard at them. And that would happen when that's the kind of opening partnership that you get. They got 99 in the first 10, so they were really going to go after pretty much everyone. There were 2 successes there for Shardul Thakur and 1 wicket for Dwayne Bravo. Joy, you'd probably say pick of the bowlers we had to pick would probably be Dwayne Bravo. Gave his captain 4 overs, came in late, gave him 4 overs, and did exactly what is expected of Bravo. It was clever, it was wily, used the surface, change of pace, the slower ones, tough to read him, tough to get him away.
No, absolutely. He did his job. But remember one more thing. By the time he came on, there was no run rate pressure on Delhi as well.
Yeah.
Delhi could score at 7-8 and over. They didn't need to go at 10-11 and over and set the rate up. So by the time Bravo came in, a lot of this has happened. They're 100 plus without loss. They're dominating the game. They don't need to take any additional risks. So they tried a bit to hit him, but they didn't go after him like they went after the spinners or Moeen or poor Shardul in his first knock. The other thing I'd say is that, this Delhi team, the way they bat, is what you call maybe 2020s batting. It's just one level up in terms of how they're approaching it. And I thought the way Chennai batted today was fantastic. It's a formula that's won them so many titles. It's won them 3 titles. It's won them many finals appearances. If Chennai got to, in the 2010 to 2019 period, if Chennai got to 188, they would win 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
This is a thing that happens here. No longer, I don't think that's possible, because the style of cricket being played, the kind of hitting that's happening now, that 188 is not as safe as it used to be. And therefore, I think Chennai has to look at it and say, maybe are we setting our sights a bit low, because we can no longer hit 190 and say, this is a target that we can defend easily. We've got to go after 220s. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, and also MS Dhoni spoke about dew. He spoke about dew afterwards, and that's something that you see in Mumbai. There was a bit of drizzle as well. Michael, if you think that snow in April is strange in the United Kingdom, rain in April in Mumbai is equally, if not more, strange. And he was talking about the dew, was MS Dhoni. He said it was really tacky. The wicket was really tacky. We did a good job to reach 188 until dew settled in. 50 minutes later, we could have bowled slightly better. But if batters are hitting you over the field that you set, then, that's good enough. He also said that the execution of the bowlers was poor, and there were boundary balls that they bowled, but the bowlers will have learned and they will apply themselves in the future games. The opposition have half an hour in a 7:30 start where the pitch is really tacky and the ball stops a bit. So we need to get 15, 20 runs extra. It's quite interesting that he says that. I think he's the only one who can kind of find that there can be a tactical advantage or disadvantage from games starting 8 o'clock always and now starting 7:30 India time this season. He's the only one who can find a bit of difference there. I don't know if that has happened with a loss, but MS usually isn't like that. I don't think, Joy, we've seen enough of MS Dhoni to know that his observations are never to cover up. He's not one to say, use an excuse.
No, Chennai as a team is never one to use an excuse. They'll say we are outplayed, they're better. And they're the most sporting team when they lose. And it's not easy. It's not easy to be sporting when you lose a final, whatever. Chennai is a very, very, very sporting team. But I'll tell you what he's saying. Dhoni in these matters, he's an absolute tactician. I remember him having a half-an-hour discussion with the IPL's technical committee, talking about, are you allowed to take the glove off, and at what point you're allowed to take the glove off for the last over? Are you allowed to wear the inners or not? Because he knew that, in T20 cricket, that last over, standing to the stumps or trying to hit the wickets with a throw would become more and more important as time came by. So, look, if Dhoni is talking about 7:30 and 8, pay attention to what he's saying, because he surely knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, he always does, and said today that the bowlers bowled way too many boundary balls. But I think he's got an issue here, Michael, because he is going to get Jason Behrendorff at some point in time. He's got Lungi as well. So in case he wants, they didn't have the express pace today, right? They didn't have that pace. They didn't have that 140 bowler. When one of these comes in, who does he replace here then?
Well, I'm not too sure. I mean, I look at Chennai, and I said it last year, I just think they look a dated team. I just think they play a dated method. MS Dhoni is an absolute legend of Chennai, a legend of the game, but I don't think they've kind of looked at their side over the last 3 years and really evolved. I think they're playing the same brand, playing the same players. They've added a Sam Curran, they've now added Moeen Ali. I don't think they've rejigged it enough. And you look at Delhi, 3 years ago, Delhi were nowhere. They were absolutely nowhere in terms of the IPL. And in the space of 2 or 3 years, they've just bought nicely. They've got some good players. They've got Ricky Ponting in as coach. And you can see now that Delhi have got a strength in depth on the bench. And we always say on this show that we kind of look at the benches of these IPL teams. And when you can see 4 or 5 players that really could be in the side, you know you've got a powerful 11. I don't see that with Chennai. I just think they've got, a very experienced team. You saw it in the field today. They weren't very good. And that could be a big problem for them again this year. Delhi have made the marker, but they just look like they could go up another level. Delhi could play even better than they played today, whereas Chennai with the bat, could they play a bit better? Yeah, only slightly. You can make the excuse of half an hour difference in terms of the time starting and a bit tacky. I just think they did what they did. I think they played the way that they will play. I think they're gonna struggle. I felt that last year when we started. I think an aging squad in T20 cricket, when you're playing so many games continuously over a period of a few weeks, you need a little bit of energy and a few youthful legs in there. Your fielding has to be electric. I don't see that in the Chennai side, and I think they're going to struggle this year.
Well, one person who's not struggling, and everyone is happy to see him not struggling, all Delhi fans are happy, is Prithvi Shaw. And Prithvi Shaw did make a statement saying that he had worked with Praveen Amre extensively before going to Vijay Hazare. And of course, we saw the results in Vijay Hazare. He got over 800 runs there. And the other interesting thing that he said, Joy, is that, well, I'm just looking to improve my technique and my temperament in my game. I'm not thinking about my India team position right now. He's just saying that, isn't he?
Of course he is. Of course he is. He knows if he gets 500, 550 runs, he's going to play the IP. He's going to be at least in that T20 World Cup squad. And he knows that tournament is supposed to be played in India. I mean, on pitches like this, he is a murderer of bowling. There are very few people who murder bowling the way he does. And that's what I'm trying to say. That what Michael is saying, I just keep concurring with that the brand of cricket that Delhi plays, I can tell you one thing. Today, in the Delhi dressing room, Ponting would have said, well done, but you guys should have finished it with 3 overs to spare. You guys give too much and this run rate could cost us. And good coaches do that. Good coaches give a shouting at their players when they've done well, not when they've done badly. So today is the day he'll turn around and say, you know what, fantastic, well done. But why did you guys take it down to 7 balls and 8 balls? It should have been finished with 18 balls to spare. And I think that's what this new Delhi looks at. They look at it saying that, okay, we are a team, if we're going to bat first, 240 on the board. 240 is what we're going to look at in a pitch like Chennai, Mumbai. Maybe if you go to Chennai, it'll be a 180, 190, maybe okay. But in pitches like Mumbai, we've got to dominate. And I think they are playing they're playing the brand of cricket which now needs to be played in the IPL.
Well, credit to Praveen Amre. He's worked with a lot of Indian players, and obviously there are just some who have the Midas touch when it comes to coaching. They don't get it just because they're born with it. They do it with hard work and, of course, the strength of their observation. And then when their pupils do well, I guess that legend just grows. Let's have a look at what this second match of the tournament has been all about. Rishabh Pant won the toss, put Chennai into bat. They got 288 for 7. They had a long batting lineup today. Of course, the pick of the bowlers for Delhi. 2 of them, Chris Vokes and Avesh Khan both. Chris Vokes 2 for 18 in his 3, and Avesh Khan 2 for 23 in his 4. And then Delhi getting there easy, but would have liked to perhaps finish it a little quicker after that powerful opening partnership between Shikhar Dhawan and Prithvi Shaw. Yes, Joy, you had
I
were raising your hand like a news channel a little while ago when that scoreboard was on.
Yeah. I was just saying one thing. I just love it. It's a gift of giving.
Yeah.
So, who is Praveen Amre's coach? Praveen Amre is the third most famous cricketer
Ramakant
from a
Achrekar.
certain Shardashram Vidyalaya, Ramakant Achrekar.
Yep.
So Ramakant Achrekar to Praveen Amre to Prithvi Shaw. So it's like being passed on generation to generation. And I just love that somebody who was Achrekar's disciples, okay, he scored a test century on debut, okay, against South Africa. Prithvi scored a test century on debut. So I feel almost that he's turning around and said, son, 25, 30, 27, 28 years ago, I was in exactly the same spot as you are. So not only can I help you technically, I can tell you what it's all about to sort of score a century at debut and then fall away, because Amre never did anything after that debut of his. And there was no IPL in those days.
Interesting. Okay, well, so that's it. It's Delhi Capitals who have won the game. It was the master and the pupil. It was MS Dhoni and there was Rishabh Pant. Not just them. They had 10 other people with them as well. But, sensational headlines tomorrow will tell you that it was the pupil who beat the master. No, it was Delhi who beat Chennai. We're keeping it real here, all right? We're going to be keeping it real, everybody. Let's have a look at the game that is coming up tomorrow. On Sunday, the fun day, it's Hyderabad playing Joy's team. No, it's not. It's Kolkata. It's Hyderabad and Kolkata tomorrow. This match is happening in Chennai. Let's have a look at the Hyderabad squad. And Michael, my question to you is, who are the 4 foreigners they are playing? Because they are proper spoiled for choice. And I know that this is the team that you are quite bullish about.
Yeah, I fancy them. I think with Bhubaneswar coming back into such prominent form, obviously he missed the last IPL. I think he's a massive plus for the Sunrisers. The 4 foreigners, now that's the question. Well, Kane Williamson will be one. David Warner will be another. Rashid Khan, there's 3. And I would think, I'd like to say Johnny Bairstow, but I'm not too sure Johnny Bairstow will be that 4th one. I personally would go for Nabi.
Interesting.
I would go for Nabi.
So Michael is not saying Jason Roy and Johnny Bairstow to open. I was really expecting you to say that, just for fun. No, you didn't. Joy, your call on the 4 foreigners they play?
I think they did so well with Bairstow and Warner last time up. They won't change it. If you remember, when they sort of got back on track, they were playing that combination: 2 opening batsmen, Rashid at the back, and then one all-rounder kind of guy batting at 6. Last year, it was Jason Holder. But if they're playing in Chennai, I expect Nabi to play. So for me, it's not Kane Williamson, even though he's been fantastic for them, very unfortunate. I think it's going to be Bairstow, Warner, Nabi, and Rashid, because that's the way.
That is why you're taking Kane Williamson to the Chennai Super
That's
King.
why I'm getting him.
Exactly.
He can't get in.
Yeah, he can't get into this team. He should be in the starting 11 of every team. But well, there you go. It is a problem of plenty that Hyderabad have. Let's have a look at the Kolkata team now. And the Kolkata team also has some interesting choices to make here. Who are the 4 foreigners you're playing here? Or rather, let's just talk Joy, and if you tell me what their kind of opening, their top order is.
No, I really think you might see Shakib at 3. Sunil Narayan may not play. I haven't heard from the KKR nets, but right now, from whatever little I saw, I mean, Sunil Narayan is this year not setting the nets on fire. So it could very well be Rahul Tripathi, Shubman Gill, or Nitish Rana, Shubman Gill more likely. Nitish Rana, Shubman Gill, then somebody like, in 3rd place, you have somebody like Shakib Al Hasan, Morgan and Russell right there in the middle, and then Cummings to end up, because they really can't afford to play it. I also definitely expect, if it's going to be Chennai, I'd say they'll toss in Harbhajan Singh. He's an experienced guy. He really knows how to play on that pitch. And, they don't know how long he'll be fit or how long he can do it. But I think Harbhajan Singh has a lot of cricket left in him. And he's just got one thing which this KKR bowling attack about outside Sunil Narayan and Shakib, which is experience. I mean, Harbhajan has just bowled in these pitches forever and ever.
Yeah.
So I expect Harbhajan to play tomorrow.
Michael, is this the end of an era? Is Sunil Narayan not guaranteed a place in this 11 anymore?
Yeah, I think so. One thing for sure is Owen Morgan as captain, Brendan McCullum as the coach. They won't be scared of dropping him or leaving him out. They'll just pick who they feel are the best players in form, the best players for the pitch, the best players for the team. Owen Morgan's been a past master of creating a team, of a real culture around the team and making sure that every single player exactly knows the role and the identity of the team and the way that they're going to play.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me. Lockie Ferguson's one that I really like. Lockie is just
exactly. But if Lockie plays, we all love Lockie Ferguson. Lockie plays, Pat Cummins plays. You already have Russell and Morgan, which means there's no Shakib in your top.
Yeah. Well, who's to say what Pat Cummins may not play? Pat Cummins with the ball last year was okay. With the bat, he helped out at the start. Again, Owen Morgan and Brendan, they won't care that Pat Cummins has been bought for such a amount of money. They'll just go, right, who is the best bowler for these conditions today? And it may be that Lockie Ferguson gets the nod. We'll have to wait and see. You'll have to look at Delhi, what they did today with Ramesh Khan coming in. No Ishant Sharma. They just went, right, who's bowling the best for this day at the moment? Right, throw him the ball, he can play. So, you might see a surprise or two in the 11. There's two cricketers over the last 10 years that have thought out the box. Owen Morgan and Brendan McCullum are those two cricketers. So don't be surprised if they pick a couple of players that you're not really expecting to play.
Excellent. Of course, we're going to know what's happening tomorrow at 7 o'clock is when you will know. And 6:50, we'll be here to discuss a little more about that and gently lead you into the moment of the reveal of the teams, you see, because we like everything to be rather flowing smoothly. That's what we do. I also want to tell you about Cricbuzz Plus real quickly. That, of course, is, you love us. There's a reason to love us more. Many, many more reasons to love us more. I've already signed up and subscribed to Cricbuzz Plus. So a lot of premium features, a lot of ad-free content over there, a lot of exclusive content over there. Whether it's video or written, it's really creme de la creme. Creme de la creme. Please go and please sign up immediately. Yes, you must do that. All right. We have the joy factor question, the answer, and the winner, and the audit. These 4 things to do in that order. So please start with the question.
Okay, here's the question. The 2 openers in a 50-over match who helped their team win by over 150 runs got picked up in an auction the same day. Name both and the 2 teams they joined. And of course, it has a connection with today. The 2 players were opening for India, captain Ishan Kishan and wicketkeeper Rishabh Pant, and they were playing the Under-19 trophy in 2016, and the same day it was the IPL, and the Under-19 was being played in Bangladesh, so they could literally watch those guys hammer runs and say, okay, we're going to bid for these guys.
Wow.
And of course, Rishabh went to Delhi for 1.9 crores, and Ishank went to the Gujarat Lions. That's what happened. 2 guys just blasted it on the day, and by afternoon, they would belong to IPL teams.
Yeah, and he's captaining one of the IPL teams is Rishabh Pant. Well, we've got a winner. Let's see who the person is who got the correct answer in. It was Devanshu Mankar. Congratulations, Devanshu. Devanshu 1016 is the one who got this right. Well done. Talking about Rishabh Pant, by the way, I just want to say that Rishabh Pant in post-match said something. He says it was so special for me to come out and do the toss with MS Dhoni because he is my go-to person. Whenever I need any advice, I go to him. I wonder if he asked him whether to call head or tails. Right? I wonder if he asked him that because he got it right. So does that make MS a very good teacher? Well, there you go. So that's how Zikuki has crumbled today. We're going to see you tomorrow. I think that's the end of business. That's the end of day's play for us. Yes? Is it still snowing there, Michael? Still snowing?
Sleet. We've gone from snow to sleet.
Oh, okay.
God.
Just
lovely.
Go to sleep then, I guess. I don't know. Just
well, so it's the in between snow and rain. It's what we call sleet, right in the middle.
Oh, I'll tell you what we call that in India. At least
so it's snow with rain, and it kind of we call it sleet.
I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it's called in Delhi. At least it's called ole. It literally, it's called those little ice balls, and they call them ole, not as in ole, not the Spanish ole. This is a word called ole.
You know what they say in Delhi when it hails or ole happens. The standard statement in Delhi is now God has given you water, God has given you ice. Now the liquor you've got to provide yourself. That's a standard statement whenever they say it. Like, God's given you all this. Come on, now you can at least.
Everybody in Gurgaon is on the terraces of their fancy bungalows and big buildings and penthouse apartments, standing with their glasses, just saying ice directly from the skies today. Yeah, well, so hail, sleet, ice, snow, ole. I wouldn't know all these things. I live in tropical Mumbai. All we have is different kinds of sweat. We will discuss those tomorrow. Right now, it's time to bid you all a good night. Big thank you to Michael Vaughan. Thank you for joining us. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharya. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gaurav Kapoor saying good night to all of you. You were watching Cricbuzz Live, which we brought to you in association with our fantasy partner, My 11 Circle. Bye-bye.